Oh, one day already. I did say to Bone Daddy that I would get up early, but I didn't expect to get up at 12:30 and be in pain. Oh my god, what an absolute shit fight it was. Well, can't get any worse, let's put it that way. There we go, Russell Westbrook's playing for Celtics. Oh mate. Let me just turn this down a bit. Yeah, I'm over fucking hospital, bro. Not after the shit I had to put up with today. Like, I'll wait till the cows come home when it comes to waiting in the hospital. But what happened today was just, I couldn't believe what I heard. The senior nurse, or whatever, what do you want to call her, she was the fucking devil. And, you know, she said, we got 3 priority cases coming in, emergency cases coming in, so we have to push everyone back from where we had basically these guys all set up to be seen. And I'm sitting there watching the TV on the most fucking uncomfortable seat in the world, as you can see by, I took an Instagram shot, and my back started to hurt as well, like, and that. And then the Panadol that the ambulance people gave me, right? I must be like high level Panadol or high level painkiller, because probably about, I don't know, 15-20 minutes I'm like, oh shit, I feel alright now, and because of the painkiller. And they said, oh, what's the pain like now? And I said, to be honest with you, look at that, 9.4 points a game. And you know what? I'm actually leading the team in points. The scary thing is that we got beaten by the Kings the last game, which I was playing, waiting for the ambulance to come this morning. Jamal Murray, who's the point guard for Denver's, only averaging 8 points a game. And I was their leading scorer in the our leading scorer in the last game against the Kings with 18 points, and we got fucking flogged by 25 or something. At one stage there, they had more points than we did. No, one guy, I can't remember who it was, had more points than... Oh, that was LeBron the other day, but it was the same thing against the Kings. Now, Westbrook's playing for Celtics. Being traded to the Celtics on this. See, that's bullshit. And that goes to me a turnover. Fuck. That's in. No, it's not. So, yeah, so she said there's 3 priority patients coming in. I don't know why she's telling us that. Foul. I don't know why she's telling us that, because it's none of our business really how many people are coming in to the ED. But I think she just wanted to tell people, and she was telling this person that had kidney stones. Right? And the reason why I know he had kidney stones, because afterwards, when she said it to them, I said, oh, what are you in here for? And he goes, kidney stones. And I said, oh, bloody hell. And I said, I thought you were here for your arm, and because he was holding his arm like this. And he goes, no, because of the pain of the kidney stones. I'm like, holding it like this tight and holding my guts together. And I went, oh, okay, I'm sorry to hear that. And I said, I've had an operation, and I'm not, I was at Modbury at, Modbury Hospital last Wednesday, not Wednesday, just gone, the Wednesday before, and I've come in and I've got a bit of complication, you could say. Alright, and I just said, I'm going to go and ask her, because you guys have got a car, right? I don't know what these other people have got in front of us. I would say they're two people, so there's a car each. I came in by ambulance, and I'm the only one technically in the area, like in the waiting room with us. But there's people out the back of the waiting room, and that's where you go from one stage to the next, like in little bays and shit, little medical bays. So I've walked up and I said, look, I didn't hear you say what you said, because technically it was directed at those people, and I sort of switched off. I knew exactly what she said. I'm just wondering, if she's going to bullshit to me, and because you can't bullshit a bullshitter. I know someone that says that. And then she goes, what I said to them is that we need to transfer you guys to the Modbury, because we've got 3 priority cases. And she said, and I said, sorry, so you guys meaning who? The 2 people at the front there and the guy with kidney stones? And she said, no, you guys is in the whole fucking department. And I'm like, well, why didn't you, and I'm not having a go at you, why didn't you come up and tell me, because I just didn't think I was even part of the conversation. And it's pretty bad communication skills if you've got to tell it like that. And I'm like, I had to deal with idiots yesterday when I went and had a look at that car. Now I have to deal with idiots at the hospital. And I'm like, and I love nurses, and I think nurses do an awesome job. Don't get me wrong, they've got a job that no one really wants to do, but they do it because they love helping people, and that's the whole thing. And I said I could never be a nurse. I could help people, but as soon as someone says something to me derogatory or something, I'll be down their throat. You can't be that when you're a nurse. And and there is some pretty nurses out there, and they get the attention that sometimes unwanted attention from single guys, or they might love the attention because that's part of their bedside manner. Alright? And they are full of penis heads. But the whole thing is that, and I said, do you understand what I'm saying? I came in by ambulance. Modbury Hospital's like it's about 15 minutes away. Maybe 20 if you caught traffic, but you're not going to catch traffic at 8 o'clock in the morning. I said, do I get in another ambulance? Do I get that choice of going into another ambulance to go to the Modbury and transfer me? Or do I have to find my own way? And one thing is that I'm not going to be able to walk because it's too far. And she said, can someone come and pick you up? And I went, if I had someone to pick me up or take me here, I wouldn't have come in on an ambulance, would I? And she goes, oh yeah, point taken. And then she said to me, so no one can. I'm like, no, my mum and dad live at Moonta. My daughters are, one's working and the other one's asleep, I think. But again, my other daughter might be working and she might start working in 20 minutes. She's not going to be able to drop everything, drive from Seaton and come here and take me to the Modbury. That's an hour-long trip. And she goes, okay, well, you can wait here if you want, but I don't know how long it'll be. And I said, I'm not interested in how long it's going to be. I said, I'll wait for however long to get it fixed. What I want to hear from you is, if I go to the Modbury, am I going to get done quicker? And she goes, oh, probably. And I went, I'm just in a losing fucking battle here, to be honest. Because really, they don't want us to be there. That's what it is. When the 3 priority people come in, they want to be concentrating on them. And I said, do you understand what I mean? That I thought you weren't speaking to me. You were speaking to the whole ED, but you weren't stood in front of those other people. You didn't say, excuse me, sir, would you like to listen? Or would you like to come over here and you can hear me better? That's the type of thing to say. And then I said, look, and I was getting shittier and shittier because she wasn't listening. She wasn't understanding what I was saying. And then one of the other nurses said, came over, and I'm like, okay, here we go. And I'm waiting for that nurse to say something like, mate, if you don't like it, just go. Now, and that'd be the worst thing she could say. Because I would say, yes, just go, and then I'm going to report you to where I need to report to. And I said, how am I going to get home if I'm just going to walk home? She goes, we can give you a bus ticket. Now, I went with my pyjamas on, didn't I? How much of a dick? I would have been on that Adelaide things. In an instant, someone would have seen me, right, in the bus with my pyjamas on, with my mockies on. I wore these as well because they're comfortable and warm. And I'm like, oh my God. It's going to give me a bus ticket to go home. And I'm like, I don't really want to go home because I want to get this problem fixed because I'm feeling fucking shit. And the whole thing is they then made a decision. One of the nurses who wasn't that busy would get in a government car and drive me to the hospital up at Mobray. Right? And then I would ascertain how I'm going to get home from there because that's another 30, well not 30k, it's about 30 minutes from my house, regardless, of 25 maybe, on a good day. Then I'm going to have to work out how I was going to get home. And then one of the other nurses comes out and she goes, that would be probably the best idea to the head nurse. You know, he's already been in an ambulance, he doesn't want to need to go in another ambulance, and he certainly doesn't want to walk home, because that was the next fucking thing I was going to do. And walking home was probably a 20-minute walk, 30-minute walk, and I've done it before with Loki, but I haven't gone that far to the hospital, near the hospital. I've taken him on the soccer field and he's had a run around the soccer field. But, you know, I shouldn't even have to fucking do this. I should be sitting there watching the news on the waiting room, waiting to be served. I shouldn't be, like, dictating or saying this is what should happen. And I said, well, I'm happy with whatever, but I can't. One, I can sit in this waiting room until I get served, alright? Which, you know, might be 10 o'clock, it's 10:52 now, it might be 11 o'clock before I see anyone. That's fine, as long as I know. You know, how long it's going to... Well, I don't need to know exact thing, but I don't need to know how many people are coming in before me. Because technically, I know it's not, you get a number and you wait, and it's not the first person in gets first person served. It's done by, you know, how bad they are or how crucial it is to get them through. And obviously, those three people must have been in a car accident, or who knows, I don't know what they were. And she never said, and it's not her duty to say. Anyhow, I said, I'll go and sit down, you guys work it out, and then tell me when you're ready to go. I sat down and I'm like, fuck, this is going to be a shit fest. If this girl, and they're talking, I can see them all talking, and the head nurse is going like this, and I'm like pointing, not at her, and like just using hand gestures. And then she comes back, the girl that said that she would drive me down there, she said, my boss has said I'm not allowed to, and I went, because these three people are coming in quite soon, and I'm like, well, when's quite soon? You know, I'm sure everybody will pull together, and you know, you don't need 15 people around one person. I said, I don't know what's going on out the back, in the rooms out the back. And she said, let me, just hang on a sec. And she goes, and then come back about 5 minutes later, she said, Matt, come here. And she ushered me into the the little examination room when I first got there. Right, and she said, let me have a look at your wound. And I said, okay, I'll need to lie down on the bed. And she said, that's fine, lie down on the bed. So I got up on the bed and she said, she looked at it and she said, I reckon this is infected. And I said, okay, it could possibly. And I said, you know, it's probably the hardest thing to clean, if you understand what I mean, personal hygiene wise, because one, and also, they basically clean themselves too. So, and I said, it's not like I haven't wiped my ass or anything. She goes, yeah, I know. And she said, look, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some Benadine on it, right? And what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to bandage it up, but I'm going to put some gauze bandage around it for about 15 minutes. And I said, all right. And she goes, to be honest with you, I think you should have some antibiotics. So I might set up a drip and we'll put a line in your arm. But, you know, and when I said to you, I think I said to you, I'm going to another hospital, I'm like, well, technically that's what I was going to do, because that's what I heard from that lady, or from the lady that was going to take us. So I said, oh, thank you for seeing me. She said, oh, it's all right, but the doctor still needs to see it, and he's, you know, whatever. But I can write you, I can get some antibiotics from a dispensary, and I can deal them out to you, because, you know, they're antibiotics. They're not going to, as long as you're not allergic to them, which you're not. Eventful day inside the hospital. It wasn't even a day, dude. It was like 3 hours, 4 hours. And I was trying to work out the times, because I reckon I might even had a mini micro nap when I was waiting for the ambulance to come. Because it went from fucking, for like 3 o'clock till 4:45 very quickly. I'm playing so bad. Look at the F. I've got an F failing. Not concentrating. I haven't got any points yet, and it's like in second quarter. And see what I mean? Like, we're 21 to 12 down. No one else has done anything. If I don't do anything, no one else does anything. And Djokovic is fucking hopeless. The Joker's hopeless. We'll go and have a look at how many what the game points are. Hang on, let's have a look. Okay. The Joker's got 3 points, 3 rebounds. Tate's got 3 and 1. Tate is just a fucking rando one they've put in. RJ Hampton, that's the other hand, has got 2. You know. Jamal Murray hasn't even hit a shot yet. Playing so bad. And I haven't been playing bad. Except for this game. And then she goes, here's some antibiotics. We're going to put some through an intravenous, through a drip. But it will only be about 15 minutes, and then we'll just give you the pills antibiotics. But I think I can get a doctor to look at you. So if you just hang on, we'll get a doctor to quickly have a look at it. Because I reckon I've made a diagnosis, but the doctor was the final say. Alright, and this one, must be one of the main nurses, one of the head nurses. And she said to me, what did she say? I can't remember. She said to me, sorry about that other lady. And I said, that's fine, but yeah, if she's having a bad day, so be it. Don't take it out on anyone else. And I said, she had a go at me not wearing a mask. And she said, she's had it all night. Like, she's been saying to people, wear a mask, it's compulsory. Wear a mask, compulsory. Wear a mask, compulsory. And I said, I just pulled mine down, and I was mucking around with it, and cleaning my glasses at the same time, because everything fogs up, cleaning the glasses from the shirt. That's all I did. And then there was something on TV, and I pulled it down then to see it with my glasses, you know, because my glasses were so fogged up, and I couldn't see the TV properly. And she goes, that's all right. You know, TV's important when you're in hospital. It's not really that important, but you know what I mean. And so I got seen to, and she said, "Stay here. This is not an emergency bay. This is like when people first come in, they get. I didn't even run down there. They get cherry picking. They go in there and get basically ascertain if they say it's say if it's a young guy and he's hammered his thumb with a hammer, we have a look at it first in there, and then if we need to clean it up a little bit, or someone's cut themselves with a saw and there's all fucking metal stuff, we just give it a quick clean so it doesn't sit there and get infected. So this is like our infection control fucking area. And anyhow, a couple of minutes later, the doctor comes in and goes, Matthew? And I went, yeah. He goes, because I had my pants down, but I had like a sheet open. He goes, can I just have a look? And I said, yeah, sure. I don't have an issue with that. Had a look. I said, over 15,000 people have seen my dick in the last week, so what's the difference? And he just laughed. And he said, oh, look, there's an infection there. What we'll do is we'll do a swab of it when he's seeing the GP next. I said, tomorrow. He goes, we'll send the results up to the GP because it'll get done today. But I think it's nothing to worry about. I think it's just, because where it is, and you're not going to die from it. I said, yeah, but the pain is so fucking incredibly. He goes, oh, no doubt it would be. And what you've had done is very, very painful, and it's a healing process that takes a little bit of time. And I said, yeah, well, I understand that. And he said to me, how are you getting home? And I said, well, I'm thinking about walking because technically it's going to take me 20 minutes to get home. He goes, well, due to your care, we're not really allowed to let you walk home, but you didn't have surgery like today or tonight or this morning. You had it a week ago. You should be all right to walk. If you just maybe do this for me, have you got someone you can call that you can talk to on the way? And I said, oi, what happened there? Easy. And then he said, well, I don't like the walking idea because if you leave here and you collapse, But again, you could do that tonight when you get home. And I said, exactly. And what I was worried about, and I said to him, what I'm worried about is septicemia, which is like blood infection. Because when you go to the doctors, like I could have golden staph, right, which is really serious. You had to walk home. Well, if they didn't give me some sort of treatment and they send me to the Mowbray Hospital, right, I would have gone, well, how am I going to get there? And I said, I might as well just walk home. That's what I said. So, yeah, so I walked home. It's not far. It was a 25-minute walk. And I got my dad on the phone. I was walking briskly and I was telling him about the story. And I had to sort of, because I had to sign discharge, and how are you getting home? And I said, walking. And like, we're in the ghetto, and there I am with my pyjamas on, and it was about 7:20. So it was a bit chilly, and I'm like, I think I might hang around the hospital for a bit. It is, mate. I wanted to make a report. I wanted to make a point that I had no way else. Well, what were they going to do? Offer me a ride home? No one's going to offer me a ride home. And I'm sure people have walked home from the hospital before, but I'm sure they haven't walked home from the hospital straight after surgery. They might have walked home like I just did. But and I just hung around for the hospital for a little bit. Made sure it was a bit more lighter because it was quite still a bit dark, and off I went. I went and had a chocolate milk and that, and I sat in the waiting room for a bit more. Actually, I was, because of my pajamas, had my jammies on. My PJs. Oh my God, someone grab a rebound. And the other thing is Michael Porter's been really shit, and I thought it'd be really good. I'm thinking about asking for a trade, to be honest. Let's take the rest of the prize. Let's back him down. Give me the ball, you fucks. So yeah, it was a bit cold, but it wasn't anything that we got, it wasn't snowing. My dad was funny. But he said, I can't believe that. I said, yeah. Don't ever get sick here because you end up walking home. And it didn't kill me for the walk. It was a nice brisk walk. And I was doing it in my Air Mockies. I would rather do them in my Jordans. I heard from Sonia today, and she said to me, she messaged me and she said, I'm going to give you a... Oh, who was that on me? How could it be on me? I was out of court. I should still get done for 3 seconds. She said to me, can I give you $50 a month to store my gear? And I'm like, $50 a month, man? That's like $10 a week. That's fucking jack shit, to be honest. I felt like saying I want more, but I thought I'm not going to fucking do the details, push the buttons. And I messaged her back and said, what's been happening with me? No, I left a message on her phone because she's blocked me, so all we get is voicemail. And I just said what's been happening, and she didn't even say, oh, I'm sorry to hear that back. Okay. Yeah, she don't give a shit. And I said, my housemate's not home, not there anymore, so I can't rely on her to look after me. And I said, oh, you know what? If she was home, he's Karen. Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, yeah.
Are you at home?
Yeah, I got home not long ago, but we won't talk about it because, but it's just another story of my life.
Yeah.
But
are you feeling okay though?
Yeah, it looks like I got an infection, so.
God. Will they give you antibiotics?
Yeah, I had a drip and then antibiotics they've given me to take after the drip, but just the bullshit they had to put up with there, and I'll wait for the hospital. I'll wait in the line at the hospital in the waiting room forever and a day, you know?
Yeah.
And I have done, and I'm waiting there, and then because I went by ambulance, and I had to wait nearly 3 hours for an ambulance.
Wow.
That's how bad it is at the moment. And I'm not dying, but I did ring up and say, and then I got through to basically one of the nurses at the Mobbery that does the surgery, and she said, well, I'm in recovery at the moment, like people that are not recovery, but people that are staying overnight. I can put you through to an RN. I think it's something to do Health Connect or something, and you can speak to her because we give you this number if you are in pain, but we then transfer you to another nurse because we're on night shift looking after people that are staying overnight, as I said.
Yeah.
And then she goes, I can transfer you because it's an automatic transfer. You don't need to ring anybody else. And, it's your money, but do you know what I mean? I said, oh, look, lucky I don't. Thing is, I bought a decent amount of call credit this week, or else I would have been already out of call credit. And then, so she put me through, and she said, she did a questionnaire, like a survey of how I'm feeling and what's happened and blah blah blah. And then she said, I finished off doing the report, and it tells me that you should go to hospital. Make your way to hospital, however you want, ambulance, whatever.
Yeah.
Right, and I said, okay, and I said, I'm still in pain, and this is like about 1:15. Yeah, about 1:15 in the morning. And I said to my mate in America, I might get up early, but not that bloody early to play games with you. Like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock's all right, but not 12 o'clock. And I felt like I've been asleep for so long. I felt like I had the best sleep ever, and I woke up and I was like, oh my God, what's that?
Yeah.
And I was actually a little bit teary and stuff like that. And then I got angry. As well because I'm like, with all the bullying stuff that happened and stuff like that. And then I remembered, about, when the owner of this house came into this house last Friday, right? And we were getting some work done in the house and door handle and stuff like that. And he was running late. There's an hour, they've got to give you a 3-hour window.
Yeah.
And that's what it is for rentals. And he was meant to be here between 11 and 2. And Sonia says to me, this is when Sonia was here, and she goes, ring him up because he's not here and it's 5 to 2. And I said, I'll give him a chance, 5 to 2, you know. Some people run a little bit late and he might be just around the corner. And she said, he had a chance to get here at 11 o'clock, Matt. And I said, well, you know, it's a window, you've still got to wait until after 2. So 5 past 2 came, he's not here, and I'm like, okay. So I rang my property manager and she said to me, oh, well, I spoke to him about an hour ago and he's got your door handles to put on and he's on his way. This is the owner she's talking to. He's come here, right? He's got under his arm, he's got a fan for the fan's broken, right? And he's going to replace the fan, get an electrician to replace the fan. I said, I don't want the fan replaced because at the moment, all I want done is my doors because it's not summer, it's winter.
Yeah.
Anyhow, and I'm like, weren't you at the inspection 3 months ago or 2.5 months ago? He goes, yeah. And he said, it's Tony from Ray White. And I said, yeah. You said you were Tony from Ray White, but I got told the owner was coming here, the owner of the house. And he goes, yeah, I'm the owner. And I went, why didn't you introduce yourself 2.5 months ago to us, or to me, to say I'm the owner of the house? Instead you walked in here like you introduced yourself that day as Tony from Ray White, not Tony the owner of the house.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is that when I wake up with all that pain last night, all I could think about was Mike and Tony, Tony's the most dishonest person I know now, because he's lied to me, hasn't told me who he is, and he could have introduced me at the house inspection and said, my name's Tony, Matt, I'm the owner of this house, but I also work for Ray White. Instead he just said, I work for Ray White. And Sonia said, nah, no way. And she goes, and I said, what? And he goes, what? He said, I used to be a property manager for LJ Hooker and a few other companies. And I said, mate, if I walked into the house and it was my house, I would have to mention that I'm the owner of the house, not Sonia from LJ Hooker, because that's unethical and it's deceiving and it's a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and he goes, I came here to replace the door handles. And I said, where's the door handles then, bro? And he goes, I was going to get the door handle off the laundry door and put it on the bedroom door and then it's fixed. I said, no, you're not. I said, what do we do with the laundry? He goes, well, there'll be no door handle. I said, no joke. And guess what? It's not going to happen. I said, go down to Bunnings and buy a $15 door handle. You know exactly what door it was because you've walked up to it and go, that bedroom door. I never said which bedroom door it was, so you knew it was fucked anyhow. And I'm like getting riled up, and the whole thing is that I couldn't jump out and kick him out because I just had surgery on the Wednesday and it's the Friday, and that Friday was my worst day, apart from today. So and I'm sitting in bed going, Mike, you motherfucker, Tony, you motherfucker, and I'm broken down, like to the point that who's next to have a go at me type thing. And I broke it down and I go, this time of me being so upset, this might be a good time to ring mental health in the middle of the night, as you do, 13 14 65, I know what number it is. And I rang him up and he said, it was George, and he said, are you suicidal? And I said, no, but I'm fucking angry to the point that I'm going to knock someone's head off.
Yeah.
And I told him about a few other incidences, like obviously the person in my shed and the person that accosted me at Parabanks, and I said to him, I told him the story about the being homicidal, and he said, okay, well, we have down that you reported yourself to the Maitland Hospital, then they took you over to the GP and had a talk to him, but we don't have any information from that. So that information hasn't been passed on to us, to mental health. And I said, that's fine, I'm telling you now.
Yeah.
And then he said to me, how do you feel in yourself, out of 10, how do you feel mentally? And I went, as one being like really, really down and whatever, I'm a 2, and 10 being happy. I said, 1, I'm upset, I've been crying, I cried again yesterday, I cried again, I've cried. It's good to cry, and when I cried, when I cried, on the phone to you on Tuesday, it felt like a relief that I actually had talked to someone that actually cares, because those other guys didn't. So, and then, cut a long story short, we, we're at the hospital and blah blah blah, and the ambulance came and took me. Would you like to go to the Mac or Mobbery? And I said, oh, you were taking me to the Mac because it's only around the corner from my house, and it'd be easier. I've got anybody to pick you up from there. And I said, when we finished, when it's all finished, I said, of course not. I said, I would have got that person to come and get me instead of getting an ambulance, wouldn't I?
Yeah.
I don't need an oxygen tank for what I've got.
Yeah.
And he just laughed. And so we're sitting there, and they went, oh, Matt. I said, yeah, do my obs and put my little tag on my arm again. I'm like, oh, this is not like this has happened in the last week, and it's happened again.
Yeah.
And then one of the head nurses, and they weren't. The thing is, you can see when they're busy and when they're busy. What you don't see is what's out the back, and that's the busiest section. And she must have been in charge, the nurse in charge. I just called her matron from hell because she had a go at me about not having my mask on properly. And what happened was I was watching the TV and my glasses all fogged up. So I was trying to clean my glasses, pull my mask down a little bit so I could get a bit of breathing and stuff like that, and not, And she go, put your mask back on properly. I'm like, oh my God, are you serious? And I'm 15 feet away from anybody else.
Yeah.
And I mean 15 feet.
Yeah.
Right? And so she gets everyone together, and she goes, well, she didn't get everyone together. She just went to the people that were 15 feet the other way and said, we've got 3 priority emergencies coming in. Now we're going to have to push everyone back. We've got a whiteboard, and it says this person, these people have to go back down. These people have to be priority.
Yeah.
And one guy, he's got kidney stones, and he's like, and his wife's going, oh, and I don't know how long they've been there, and I didn't even ask, to be honest, because I'm like, this guy's in more pain than me.
Yeah.
Right? And she said it to these people, but didn't say it to me, and didn't call me over. And if I had headphones on or was zoning out or had no idea, I wouldn't have known she said that.
Yeah.
But my ears pricked up when she said, oh, we're going to have to move you down the list, and quite possibly might have to move some of you to Mobbery.
Yeah.
And I'm going, well, that's good if you've got a car, but I arrived by ambulance. How am I going to get there?
Yeah.
And she went away, and then I walked up to the couple and I said, did I hear that right? And she said, yeah. And I went, okay, well, I'm in a different situation than you guys, and I'm not trying to push in or anything, but, I don't have anyone to take to Mobbery. And I came by ambulance, and the lady said, oh yeah, I saw you come in you didn't go in the gurney, but you walked in with the ambulance, with the ambo.
Yeah.
And she said to me, you know what, Matt, she didn't know my name, you know what, if we could take you to the hospital, we would. I said, no, that's not your responsibility, and one, it's a duty of care. If I leave here and convulse in the back of the car, what are you going to do? We'll call the ambulance, because I'm just going to be in an ambulance again. So I said, oh look, I'll fix it up, I'll go and see her. I walked up and I said, did I hear you right? Because I wasn't really part of the conversation. And she looked at me like I was some fucking imbecile, and I'm like, do you understand what I'm trying to say? You could have called me over as well instead of talking to those people in one group. And she said, oh, I thought you were listening. I said, no, I hardly heard any of the conversation. All I heard was 3 people priority. That's all I heard.
Yeah.
I did hear more than that, but I made out I didn't.
Yeah.
And I said, how am I going to get to Mobbery? Oh, can your parents come pick you up? I said, well, they live in Moonta, so there's 2 hours out of their way.
Yeah.
Anybody else? I said, my daughter's just started work at childcare, as in time-wise. She started at just after 7.
Yeah.
Well, before 7, she was already messaging me saying, "What's happening? Are you okay?" And then my other daughter, I don't know if she's working at 10 o'clock or whatever, or she's sleeping in. I don't even know if she's home. She might be at her boyfriend's house. So, you know, you can't just throw this on someone who's just walked into the ED off a fucking ambulance. I didn't say fucking, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So from there, I then